Now, the hard winter of 2013 caused real problems for wildlife in the Midlands, and barn owls in particular were badly affected. Experts said it was the worst year on record. But now there's good news, as a report shows barn owls are back from the brink after a baby boom last year. Our environment correspondent David Gregory-Kumar joins us now live from an owl sanctuary in Horton in Staffordshire. And is that a rescued barn owl there, David?
Yeah, it is, Nick. This is Molly, and she's actually a former pet, so she can't be released back into the wild. But she helps out here at the Owl Experience. She takes part in the educational programmes and some of the displays, and she has a very happy life now. But of course, her wild cousins, as you said, have not been having such a happy time for the past few years. And at one point, we actually thought numbers were dropping so low that it might actually be they disappear from parts of the Midlands completely.
The winter of 2013 was really bad news all over for wildlife, but in Staffordshire, the barn owls had a particularly hard time.
The weather had a really negative impact on the barn owls. We found, particularly in this area, we had snow cover for 3 weeks at a time when the barn owls needed to be putting on weight, ready for breeding. On average, we get 6 barn owls reported dead to us each year. 2013, we had 20 barn owls reported dead. We usually have 30-40 breeding pairs, so you're looking at a big loss in the population.
So Helen, a barn owl box comes in a flat pack then?
That's right, yeah. This is.
But barn owl lovers have been fighting back. The Staffordshire Barn Owl Action Group have put up more than 400 barn owl boxes, although that does rather beg the question.
Can't just live in a barn?
Yes, a lot of barns now have been converted to make houses, so we're losing a lot of the natural nest sites that barn owls would use.
And after the bad times, in 2014, many of those barn owl boxes saw a barn owl baby boom.
There's always going to be peaks and troughs in the barn owl population. Obviously, after this year, after 2014, there's going to be a lot of birds around. So hopefully 2015, we should be on for another year. If field vole populations stay high, which hopefully it should do, then we could be on for a run of good years. Hopefully the weather holds out there.
We can't do much about the weather, but preserving habitat and putting up boxes all helps. And so does the hard work of rehab centres like the Owl Experience near Stafford.
So Lily's wild cousins out there in the countryside have been having a really tough time of it the last few years. But if 2014 is as good as they say, then perhaps the population is on its way back. Now, it's not just the loss of habitat, the bad weather that's the problem, particularly for barn owls. We've got some slow motion footage of Molly taken during the day, and if you look at it, you can see, I mean, it's a beautiful sight. They're completely silent. It's a fantastic thing to see, but look how low she is to the ground. Now, that's perfectly normal behaviour. That's how they hunt. But the problem is if they're that low when they cross, say, a road, well, they're right in the path of oncoming traffic, and that is a real problem. With me is Andrew Campbell from the Owl Experience. Andrew, what can we do to sort of stop owls getting in the way of traffic?
Basically what we do is we try and promote farmers to build their hedges a lot higher than what they are doing now. Every year they cultivate their hedges twice a year, but what we're trying to do is make them grow them slightly higher so that when the actual owl does fly, it has to fly up and fly over the hedge itself, so then it prevents the owl from getting hit by the car.
We know there's going to be this baby boom, a lot of young barn owls out there this year. They might get into trouble. What's the advice if people find a barn owl they think is in trouble?
Well, if you see a barn owl or a tawny owl, or any owl in particular, if you see one lying and it's in immediate danger, please do call the RSPCA, call ourselves or anybody, any establishment that rescue centre, they'll come out and rescue it. But if it's a fledgling or something that's lying by the bottom of a tree, just leave it. It's there for a reason. The parents are teaching it how to fly.
Thank you very much, Andrew. Now, there's still lots we don't know about barn owls. If you go to my blog at bbc.co.uk/David Gregory-Kumar, you will find a link to a survey you can fill in to help fill in those gaps in our knowledge. Back to you, Nick.
Thanks, David. They are stunningly beautiful animals, aren't they? And you can see more about this on Inside Out West Midlands at 7:30 BBC One on Monday night.